Welcome to Victory Road with no relation to Pokemon in any way. Our objective here is to slaughter our enemies, which doesn't actually mean kill all of them, just most of them. This is one of the few areas in which we'll see cowering enemies. They're usually done for atmospheric effect. There's no way to make them cower normally. Between videos, I did purchase a new upgrade that you'll be seeing here. Not right now, but shortly. And this stage introduces a few new enemy types as well. Like I said, they try to make the game decently varied. I feel like it's not too much more repetitious than your average character action game. Of course, how much mileage something has depends on what's on display for most people. So the whole controlling zombies shtick might get old toward the end of the game. These new horse enemies are, guess what, just like the lance enemies, except they take way more hits. 2 heavy attacks will knock the guy off his horse, but you still have to deal with the guy himself. A lot of enemy types in this game revolve around charging at you, simply because that's the hardest thing for you to defend against. When there's 2 horse enemies, things get a bit more complicated. You can usually tell when they're about to charge, and they also come with an audio cue. Unless they're too far away, then the audio cue doesn't trigger. As was stated previously, the dodge rolling is pretty lenient, so you can even dodge toward them if you want. Before I forget to mention, they also leave themselves open a lot less than the guys with lances. And they don't get knocked back, you know, being on horses and all. It's either you knock them off the horses, or you get run over. So there's a rather unfortunate glitch that occurs when sometimes zombies get in each other's way and refuse to climb what you're telling them to climb. Such as the case right here. We could wait forever and they still wouldn't be able to climb it. They're stuck like that. You can always solve this by simply pointing at it from a different angle, though. So this ginormous elephant enemy is simply called a Behemoth. Just like every other big enemy, he's stunned when we throw 3 zombies onto him. And that also makes him take more damage. He's also easily distracted by our zombies, just like boss characters. He's basically an upgraded version of the Bugbear, and his attacks have a much wider area. The game is a lot less picky about how you throw zombies onto him, though. You can throw zombies at him from pretty much any direction. He's the first normal big enemy that charges at us. So far we've seen humanoid big enemies, and the Bugbear, which was a boss. But this is the first normal big enemy to be able to charge. So here's that new upgrade I bought. We can charge up our heavy attack now, which deals so much damage. About as much damage as the final strike of our Muso attack. It's absolutely the strongest attack in your arsenal. The only problem is that you're not invincible while you use it. But if you were invincible while you used it, then the game would not be challenging at all. There's no objective for this area, which means we're just free to progress. The only things in our way are these flaming barriers. Now, in spite of what you may think, we don't hit these flaming barriers and go, "Ow, I'm on fire." We hit them and we explode. So bumping into them is definitely not advised. They're actually foreshadowing to a much more dangerous hazard later in the game. Of course, just like normal barriers, we can get rid of these ones by hurling our zombies at it. We can get rid of everything by hurling our zombies at it. The Muso attack is definitely useful for a lot of situations that would otherwise rapidly drain your life gauge. Like that part we just saw where there was a guy on a horse surrounded by a whole bunch of lance enemies. Screw that. And here is the part where I shamelessly attack normal enemies until I refill my health enough that I feel comfortable taking on the final section. As I said before, some of the enemies infinitely respawn, so you have a steady supply of zombies, which also means you have a steady supply of health pickups, and a steady supply of ways to refill your Muso meter. You shouldn't feel even a little bit guilty about doing this, because you do have to restart the entire level if you screw up. And while most levels don't run over 10 minutes, that can be pretty heart-wrenching on repeated runs. There are a lot of archers in this area. Some of them are out in the open, but some of them are inside buildings where we can't actually hurt them. That's not a big deal though, we just have to stay away. The main goal here is to take down the gate in the center, but there are horses blocking the path. When you're confronted with 3 or more horses, the best thing you can do is hope you have a full Muso meter. Even then, it's not guaranteed you'll take them all out because, well, they charge. And surprisingly, getting hit right in the face with a flaming chainsaw does nothing to stop their advances. So just spam the heavy attack if that fails. The most dangerous thing here is getting stun locked, but thankfully with the horses they usually run to completely opposite ends of the battlefield. After we get rid of these guys, we just need to retreat back behind the wooden barriers and then point our zombies at the gate. We want to get behind the wooden barriers because the archers don't shoot that far.